Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome. It's evening here in South Jersey. It's early evening out on the West Coast. This is episode number 204 of Material Issues. I'm Mark Hershberger of Pop Detective Records. Man, it's a wonderful day over here in South Jersey, and joining me, as usual, my co-host, soon to be bouncing around Liverpool, Mr. David Bash, the president of the International Pop Overthrow Festival. David, good early evening. I got it right finally after 204 episodes. Early
It really
evening.
doesn't seem, good later evening to you. It doesn't seem like evening here because it's still very bright. But yeah, it's 5 o'clock.
Wow, nice. That's a great day here in South Jersey. Dogs and I were having a wonderful time out in the wonderful weather, and it's Tuesday night. I don't know when the last time we had a show on a Tuesday night. You know, we were normally Wednesday, then we moved to Sundays, but we had a special reason tonight to be.
I think there may have been one day. Normally, we would move it a day later.
There's John. It's the afternoon. It's the.
That's an interesting font. Did you change that font, or Mark? Did you?
I changed the font. I tried to match the green of the album sitting on the ledge behind me. So.
Oh, I like it.
Hey, John, we were just talking about you moments before the show started to see if you are going to hang out with me maybe next Sunday with David in IPO Liverpool, going live from the Cavern stage. So, let me know. We'll hang out. It's always fun to talk Beatles and hang out with you whenever.
John, it'll definitely be afternoon for you. I mean, if we do it at 11 o'clock Liverpool time, 11 p.m., that is, it would be 3 p.m. Pacific time and 6 p.m. Eastern. So usually we end up doing it at around that. It might be 10 o'clock, actually, depending upon who's playing and who we think might be the better interview.
Yeah. We'll see. It'll be organic. It'll be good. But yeah, you've got that coming up here. You're taking off in a couple of days to fly to the UK.
Friday morning to the UK. IPO Liverpool starts on Sunday.
It stands for winning, John. Mark Winning Hershberger. Hey, Tim.
Oh, thank you, Tim. I guess. I don't know if that's a compliment or just an observation. But yeah, it's especially brighter because I have a new ring light from my computer. So I'm a little brighter, but for whatever reason, I keep fading in and out. I don't know why. It's probably some setting on my computer, but
it's the Back to the Future effect. Somewhere somebody's messing with the timeline, and that's why you're fading. And you'll probably completely disappear or come back better than ever. But yeah, it's great. No, it's all good.
So we'll be in Liverpool from Sunday. I mean, the IPO will go from Sunday to Sunday, May 25th through June 1st. We then leave for Amsterdam for a little Western relaxation.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. And hopefully visiting a venue there, which, one day we might be able to use for IPO in Amsterdam. That's what we hope. Then we go to Stockholm for 3 days of IPO.
And you've got Tom Help in Stockholm.
Tom Hell is playing, yes, for sure.
Very cool.
We've got 2 bands playing IPOs in Europe because of you.
Cool.
Twinklehead in Liverpool and Tom Hell in Stockholm. So thank you.
That's great.
After Stockholm, we go to Rome for about 4 days, 4.5 days. I don't remember. And then we finally leave for LA on June 15th. So we'll be gone a long time. Oh, here we go. I think our guests are coming in.
Oh yeah, they
seem to be in a place.
You guys,
can they hear us, Mark?
Yeah, they can hear us. We just can't hear. Nobody can hear or see them until we bring them up. So hang tight, down, special guests.
The connection looks good, so we don't need to test. We'll just talk a couple of minutes, and then we'll introduce you and bring you on into the studio.
Wonderful.
So yeah, you're looking good.
No, it's great. Right. You're gonna have a great time in Liverpool at the Cavern and the Cavern pub. That's always a great time. And you've got how many bands playing this year in total?
We have 110 playing at the Cavern. Wow. And we have at the moment we have 26 playing in Stockholm.
Nice. Wow. That's great. The Cavern is always a great venue for IPO.
And so, Vicki, I'm going to give you a joke that you've heard 100 times at least. I'm going down to Liverpool to do something. That is the International Pop Overthrow Festival for our 21st year. That'll be great.
Yeah,
anyway, let's see what else we've got here.
You've got to polish your brick at the Cavern on Matthew Street as well.
Yeah, I've got a brick on their wall of fame. I'm the only non-musician, non-DJ to have one, as far as I know. And
that's too cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best honor I'll ever receive. Oh, I just wanted to show something I got recently. This is the new anthology by a great late 60s band, the Flower Pot Men, who had a huge hit in the UK with Let's Go to San Francisco. I think it may have been an answer to Scott McKenzie's San Francisco, but more for the UK. They had a few minor hits beyond that, but tons of stuff that had been unreleased over the years, and this collects it all. And of course, I love the cover art. It totally speaks to me. But great music. John Carter, who sang lead on most of their tracks, wound up singing Going to White Plains. And, of course, Tony Burrows sang lead on their big hit, My Baby Loves Lovin'. But we'll talk about that another time. Oh, I'm all equipped here. I've got my Mont Blanc Beatles pen right here. It's got the mustaches on the clip, the Sgt. Pepper mustaches. It's ridiculous, I know. And a bunch of colors for whatever reason. I guess Sgt. Pepper as well. I'm getting an Elvis one coming in tomorrow, which looks more like something Elvis would use.
An Elvis Mont Blanc, nice.
Yeah. This is my Ellington Chopin. So it's not Mont Blanc.
See the keyboard? Yep, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
The keyboard, nice. So and I'm all ready here. I've got the pen travel case and everything.
You're a museum, man.
I'm sick. Yeah, I am. And of course, to match my shirt,
gotta love it though.
To match my shirt, I've got the Young'uns competition yellow watch, a great racing watch with the knobs on top instead of on the side.
Yeah, I do like
stopwatch. So I love that thing.
You're decked out, man. You get your bowler hat, you get your great shirt, you got your bling, your Mont Blanc.
The chain, yeah. The psychedelic gangsta is.
I'm just I let it be on. That's all I could do tonight.
Hey, well, that works. That works for Liverpool, certainly. All right, well, let's bring on our guests. I'm sure our listeners would rather hear them than me. Well, all right, so we've got a great rock and roll couple coming up. You know her as a lead guitarist of the Bangles, singer-songwriter as well, member of Continental Drifters with her husband's sister and many other people. And of course, you know him as drummer of the great late 60s band, the Cowsills. And over the years, he's played with so many different people, including touring with the Beach Boys for like 20 or so years. But we have them on mainly because of this. That's right. Their new album, Long After the Fire. And it is a great work of country pop music. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want our guests to think I didn't go all out for the record store day version as well, but I did.
I have it, yeah.
And
so
huge
good.
Thanks to Patty DeVries for connecting us with. She's of Devious Planet Promotion or Publicity. She connected us, and I'm very fan. I mean, I've been a fan of both of them for long time.
Long time, man.
And they put together this beautiful record of country pop that. We'd love to talk to them about, as well as other things in their life. So without further ado, would you please give a huge Material Issues welcome to Vicki Peterson and John Cowsill.
Hello.
Wow. There they are.
Wow. I'm glad you didn't have to pull over like John thought you would.
No, we thought we would, but we managed to find somewhere.
We just finished a podcast, and now we just stayed in the building, in the house that we did it at. So we're using their living room.
We're ready to go.
Oh, okay. Are you in LA or where are you right now?
Los Angeles.
Oh, you are in LA. I live in Reseda, so. I'll find you. No, just kidding.
It's all good. Well, I gotta say, very nice to meet both of you. I'm Mark Hershberger, Pop Detective Records. As David had mentioned, been a fan of everything the two of you have done for. Not that none of us are very old, but it's just been a very long time of a lot of music.
Speak for yourself, Mark. I'm old.
I got it. And this new album has just been a nonstop play here in my house. I gotta say it's just one of the best things I've heard in quite a long time. And when we first started talking about it, we were saying, it's a country album. And before I heard it, I was like, oh well, that's. But I don't hear it as a country album much, because I'm not a country music fan as far as that kind of genre, but it's very much the way I love the Mavericks. Everybody talks the Mavericks are country, and or Tex-Mex, but it's the vocals that separate it from what I feel people always call a country album.
Kind of reminds me of this band. You may have heard of them. I don't know. Blue Shadows.
A little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's my favorite band.
There's the Time Machine, Michael McCartney from Hawaii, check it in. But no, this album speaks to me because I love everything the Mavericks have ever done. And it, when people tell me they were a country band, I go, no, I don't get that at all. This is, and very much comes down to vocals. And both of you, vocal performance on this album is just fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Well, and having been a huge Cowsills fan, and there was always, Bill and Bob, and of course your mom out front, and then Susan had, outside of a couple tracks that I knew you sang on, didn't know much about your voice from those days, and then this comes out on this album and just boom! I mean, that low register.
I'm a surpriser.
Well, and again, I related to Raul Malu, who I think has one of the most beautiful voices, period. And I stick you right up there with it, with how it just blew me away. So, and Vicki, not to let you out of it, but you've always been wonderful. And
well, I mean, on this album, your songs remind me a lot of Linda Ronstadt's and I'm sure you've already heard that a few times.
No, but thank you.
Really?
I'll take it.
Okay.
But I have to say, John has done, he's been doing Johnny Cowsill for decades and decades. He is a country fan. And for me, it's more of an accidental alignment. I've come into it sideways, and I do love old country. And this album, you're right, is not a traditional country album, although the songs were written in old school traditional ways. So, and we sing them with 2-part harmonies. So it's very,
Everly Brothers.
Yeah, Everly Brothers really is kind of more our touchstone. And, but, Emmylou, Graham Parsons.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've been talking for like
Graham
many
Parsons,
years.
Graham Parsons and Emmylou.
Talking for 2 hours, sorry.
No, I'm not much. I mean, I'm not a country music fan except for 50s. The three Hanks do it for me. Williams, Snow, and Thompson for sure. But beyond that, not a lot.
My first guys, Marty Robbins and Jimmy Dickens and Earl Scruggs and Hank Williams and
I'll go with Lester Flatt. You said Earl Scruggs. I'll do the Lester Flatt side of things. So.
Yeah.
All I know by him is the Beverly Hillbillies theme. But
Lester's daughter, Chrissy, was on my label with the Go Wild. So I
didn't know that.
Yeah, I have a Flatt and Scruggs. What's that?
What's that?
What label?
Yeah.
Pop Detective.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my label. And she hooked up with Eddie Best out of Austin, and they did a thing called the Go Wows. And
they actually played IPO once.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Wow,
I've got a Flatt and
learning
Scruggs.
all kinds of things here.
I love that.
Well, our album is a mix of that traditional country, and then you get to Barry's stuff, which is more rock side of things, and his introspective lyrics and the ballad stuff that he writes is so deep, and our producer helped us bridge all the material so that it works together You know,
sonically.
and because it's a tribute album, we are allowed some grace points for mixing up the blend. You know, so we're sure.
I watched somewhere you were talking about the difficulty in licensing this stuff, even though it was family members.
Hard.
Yeah.
Well, it was some detective work to just find out who currently owns the publishing, because some of these songs are very, very old. Some of them were owned by somebody who then sold the company, who then, you know, appropriated it somewhere else. And some of it's from Canada and some of it's from, you know, the 1960s. So it was a little bit of a detective project for sure to dig it all up. It was very important for us to get all the right publishing. We want to make sure that any proceeds do go to Barry and Bill's heirs.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, indeed.
It was interesting because, you know, the easiest part was recording them. Oh, this is fun. It's our family stuff. This would be easy, you know, but you realize, but they're not here to say, yeah, you can use it.
I think it's a fair assumption, though.
And it's just a strange conundrum, you know, to be so close yet so far.
Yeah.
Type of a thing.
Vicki, I just wanted to say this as a sidelight because I wanted to make sure I got this in. One of my favorite moments in your career was when the Bangles were on Joan Rivers, and she asked, you remember that? She asked, who were your biggest influences? And you said the 3 Bs, the Beatles, the Byrds, and Buffalo Springfield. And Joan Rivers said, Springfield? And at that moment, I could see her thinking, oh, yeah, my daughter Melissa has a Rick Springfield poster. Is that who she said? And you said...
Yeah, Rick Springsteen, I think she said, or something like that. Yeah, Buffalo Springsteen.
You said, and you immediately said emphatically, Buffalo Springfield. Yeah. I love that.
Well, all the way back to the Bangles days, I knew I saw you here in South Jersey way back in the early days, but I had to look it up because you played the Halloran Plaza Ballroom in Pensacola, New Jersey in 1982. And which...
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Was
that a college gig?
No, probably anything but a college gig. The Halloran Ballroom was just in the middle of nowhere, and but that's where I saw you. That's where I saw you early on in
there you go.
In the 80s.
Do either of you ever have random moments at gigs pop in your head for no particular reason? Like, why do I remember this particular thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes just a location will flash.
Just when you said that, I've looked at 4 gigs already. One, weirdly, one from Canton, Ohio, where we used to live, but it was years later that we played there. And I remember being on the front of the stage, and some girl asked me for an autograph, and she says, "Can I kiss you?" And I just went, "Oh my God, yes, you may." And she was really cute. I remember that.
That's so cute.
I know, it's just a funny thing, but that's the first thing that flashed into my head. Why? I don't know. And I've told you the truth. And then another one was a high school with bad seating and stuff. And I remember them throwing bubble gum up on the stage. And
already chewed bubble gum?
No, fresh gum, but they were telling us we weren't cool.
ABC.
Stuff, you know.
ABC, yeah.
They were telling you weren't cool?
Yeah, we weren't cool.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you guys both have to probably have places that you've played before, having people tell you, "Well, I saw you last time you were here," and you were like, "I don't know that we were ever here before."
Oh,
you've played a few gigs in your time, so it's.
Yeah, I always figured, we probably were there. You know, I can tell you where I haven't been.
And speaking of kissing and girls and such, if you don't mind me asking, John. Your appearance on Playboy After Dark. What age were you when you were on that show?
The age where I was hiding Playboys under my mattress, and I was in love with Connie Kresge, and I sit next to her. She was one of the playmates,
Okay.
And I got to sit next to her, and she was really nice.
I'm sure.
They were all really nice. They were so nice to me. Whatever. I loved it though. I
just remember seeing. I've seen it. I have like a DVD of it or whatnot, and I was just like, look at those guys from the Cowsills playing, you know, this thing with all these beautiful women around, and
that was because my brother Bob was married to Nancy Roberts.
Right.
He was a Playboy bunny. She was Hef's friend. You know, I mean, just
wow,
friend, and she's the one who got us on the show. and it was so groovy.
I remember seeing it. I saw it in real time.
And they were dancing and stuff. It was so groovy because I watched the show. I used to watch the show just because I liked all the dancing on it, and they were so groovy and hip.
They were groovy.
And the version of Poor Baby you did live, that version live absolutely killed.
2x2, yeah, we played it live.
I mean, it rocked. Then you listen to the album version; it's a lot tamer. It's more, more studio produced. But man, the live version was just
a rock band, and that was Barry rocking out, Barry singing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Playboy After Dark appearances was the Avant Garde, which had Chuck Woolery in it.
Oh wow!
Late '60s band. They had a minor hit called "Naturally Stoned," and they performed it. They're just the two guys in the band are standing there, no instruments. They're just going. I just watching Chuck Woolery in a Nehru jacket snapping his. I don't know. It had a perverse effect on me. I liked it.
God.
Chuck Woolery.
Yeah, it's a great song too. Actually,
I remember seeing John Sebastian on it.
Oh, okay.
That was cool.
Well, I'll tell you, back to the album. The first 4 tracks on the album are so strong, so wonderful. "Fool is the Last to Know." Who's playing the lead guitar on that? The run that goes.
Our producer Paul Allen. He's
fast run up, and then
he's just an amazing guy. I've known since he was 11 years old, and when I was playing with the Beach Boys, I hadn't seen him for decades because actually I was a Finnish carpenter, and his mom asked me to work on their house when I lived in Ojai. It must have been the 90s. Yeah, in the 90s. And I met him, and part of the gig was to have him work with me on these construction projects. So it was probably a couple of weeks at the most that we hung out. And then in 2018 or 19, I was playing the Ryman with the Beach Boys, and I get a note saying from this guy, a text from this guy saying, "Hey, my name is Paul Allen. I don't know if you remember me, but I'm outside the Ryman." And I remember Paul really well because he was an intense kid. And I went out there, and he's 6'3", 6'4". He's a session musician. He's more than a session musician, though. He's an incredible, talented multi-instrumentalist, has worked with everybody. I won't drop any names right now, but he has worked with everybody. He even plays with the Wooten family. So he's a very accomplished musician, and we just love him. And he's the one who got us to make the first move. So he sees me at the Ryman. So we've reestablished our relationship. He sees that the Beach Boys are playing in Memphis, and he lives in Nashville. And he called me up one night and he says, "Hey man, I see you're playing in Memphis. You want to go record at Sun Records?" And I said, "Why?" And he reminded me that I had been talking about the Dead Brothers project, which we called the Defection.
Oh my God!
We had not started it yet. Vicki and I talked about it for a decade, and shared that with Paul, because Paul's always saying, "What do you want to do? What do you want to do?" And I'd spout up, "I want to do this, this, and this." Anyway, he said, "Let's go into Sun Records." He says, "Well, you got that Dead Brothers project. Let's go record the song." So we did, and it started the project. And it was called "Is Anybody Here?" because it was a song Bill and my brother Bill and Jeffrey Hatcher wrote, kind of their tribute to Roy Orbison. So it was so fitting to do that in that studio with the ribbon mics, and Paul and I recorded that song there and then, and then it took a few more years to get it rolling again, but we did, and if Paul wasn't involved, it would never got started, and it would never have gotten pushed over the line.
Wow.
He was our champion, and just let's get it done. Let's get it done. Let's do this.
He did play that solo and many others on the record and many of the other instruments. He's quite a fantastic musician.
Yeah.
And we're lucky to get to perform with him. Sometimes we bring him along when we go out and perform, and he sits behind the drum kit and plays drums, bass, guitar, usually at the same time.
Yes, he plays bass and drums at the same time. If you go check
I saw a picture or something where he was sitting at the drum and a bass guitar across his lap. I was like, this is bizarre.
People have put videos up of it, and you listen to that at the cutting. He's incredible.
Well, if you don't mind, I've got the song queued up. I would like to play it for those out there who have not heard the album yet and really need to pick it up. So
do it.
Without further ado, here we go. The first track on the album, Fool is the Last One to Know by Vicki Peterson and John Cowsill on Material Issues.
Now I am just a working man, and I've done all that I can to keep you in your heavens and your bows. Talk gets around in a small country town where the fool is the last one to know. It takes a fool to do the things I do. Have to be a fool like me to be so in love with you. Now your touch is growing cold. Is there someone that you hold? Nights when I am out and you're alone. Who's that so and so? Darling, who's your Romeo? Oh, the fool is the last one to know. It takes a fool to do the things I do. Have to be a fool like me to be so in love with you. I overheard you on the phone. You were whispering sweet and low, something that I never heard before. Saying just what lovers say when two lovers talk that way. Yes, the fool is the last one to know. It takes a fool to do the things I do. Have to be a fool like me to be so in love with you. Yeah, talk gets around in a small country town where the fool is the last one to know. I guess the fool is the last one to know. Yes, I'm the fool, and I'm the last one to know.
Man, that's so good.
There's a good reason
Thank
why
you
that
for
song
playing
starts
that.
the album. It was a great album starter. It's up tempo. It's got the harmonies. It just gets you in the mood to hear the rest of them. So good choice.
Yeah, and why was that the choice to lead off the album? What?
Reason you just said.
Pretty much.
Yeah, there you go.
We thought about
Great energy.
the track listing.
Mhm.
Sequence
Yeah.
is important.
Sure.
It's a fun one to play live too. So
Well, indeed, and as I mentioned earlier, for me, the first four tracks, Vagabond, just kills me. Probably my favorite. Come to Me is my favorite on the album. It's
Mine.
it's just wonderful. And of course, you talked about Is Anybody Here? And boy, if those first 10 seconds don't send chills up your spine, then you don't get it.
Well, interestingly, I don't have any of those songs queued up, so we'll be playing other ones. How about that? So he loves certain ones more, and I do too. So that means there's people out there who have different choices. You gotta love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Running across the bottom, Vicki and John, it says vickyandjohn.com. That's the website to find out a lot of things going on with you. Is the album available at that site, or do you have to go out to Amazon and a bunch of other places and find it?
you will need to go to other outlets to buy it. Amazon, and also it is available in physical existence as well. So
And isn't it
You can get it.
available at Label 51?
Mhm. You can also go to our record label, Flatiron Records Label 51, and
And
buy
get
it
it
from
there
there
as well.
too.
Because the Record Store Day release on the beautiful green vinyl. I'll tell you what, I'm over here in South Jersey, and all I wanted for Record Store Day was to find this copy, and nobody here in South Jersey ordered it, which upset me. And I was laying into these record shop owners saying, "What's the matter with you people?" You know? And I had my good friend David Bash picked it up for me in the LA area where they could find it.
Right.
Thank goodness, and I appreciate that. But
yeah, thankfully, my local record shop was cool enough to order a few copies of it.
Thank you, David.
Awesome. Yeah, we tried to tell people, please go to your local record store and tell them you want to order this album. Please tell them. So
that's how it works. But not everyone understands that you have to ask for it, because there's a lot of releases that come out.
And a lot of people don't go to record stores anymore. They just don't. They buy online. It's
funny, if you look at a lot of record store day releases, a lot of things that people are buying, it's a certain genre. There's a lot of metal and old releases and hip hop
and reissues. A lot of
reissues. So sometimes when they see, unfamiliar names, because you're not listing Bangles and Cowsills on the thing, you're listing Vicki Peterson and John Cowsill, and some of these record store owners are not that old, and they don't know who, and I educated them, let's say.
Yeah, I have a silly story. I was a Cowsills fan in the late '60s. I was a kid, loved the Rain in the Park and other things, and We Can Fly and Hair and whatever else I could hear on the radio. When I got a turntable in the mid '70s, I was kind of late. I was late to the turntable. And I wanted to find something by the Cowsills. And I was in a local department store which had a record section with some reduced priced albums. And I saw the best of the Cowsills, and I loved the cover. And so I said, "Oh, here it is." And I looked at the back and I go, "Where's that Flower Girl song? It's not on it. Where's I Love the Flower Girl?" And I almost didn't buy it, but then I said, that's $1.99. Something else good will be on there. And of course, then I put it on. Immediately, I heard the Rain in the Park and other things. What's that?
Right.
When you're a little kid, you don't always hear song titles. You go by what the catchiest lyric. So that got me started, and ultimately I found all of your albums at that point.
Thank you for doing that. That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, there's information out at VickiandJohn.com, and you guys have been touring a little bit behind this album here and there, and you're going back out again here in June, I believe, before you hit some Smithereens dates, John.
I do sing with the Smithereens sometimes,
which is fantastic.
That was a great show at a girl.
Well, you came to the Canyon Club, David. You were there.
Yeah, and I was almost going to introduce you guys from the stage, and that fell through at the end, which I was about. But what are you going to do? That's showbiz.
There is a show listed, and I don't know whether you have any more information on it. On June 5th, you're supposed to be in Southampton, PA. Is that still going on at the Stone Turtle House concert?
That's a private house concert. Yeah. So I believe, but I believe you can get tickets if it isn't already sold out. But it is. Yeah,
I'm looking for information, and I can't find information whether it's sold out or not, because it's about half an hour north of me here. So I was going to make sure I get up there.
For you.
Thank you. That'd be great. I know they do nice nice house concerts at Stone Turtle, but I couldn't find any information on it. So maybe it's sold out.
Yeah.
It's all right, which is cool. But you're doing some other dates, and that's out at the VickiandJohn.com website for people to check out. I'm sure you'll have merchandise for sale at these dates.
We do. We sell the vinyl and the CD
at our live show,
and T-shirts and guitar picks and drumsticks and
glow in the dark guitar picks.
Oh, nice!
Ooh, glow in the dark. You can find it if you lose it in the dark.
Exactly, and you will. So.
Are you going to be touring in Europe at all?
Hopefully, eventually, but not anytime soon. We don't have anything booked, but we have connections there who we're setting up that possibility, a great possibility to work over there for sure. There's a big resurgence of Americana and country in Europe and the UK for sure right now. So maybe a really good thing for us to do and go over there.
Yeah. Well, save the date. Late May 2026 when International Pop Overthrows at the Cavern, because
there you go.
I there.
Put it on the calendar right now.
There
Dennis
you go.
and Babjack are there right now.
Oh yeah, we're just gonna miss them. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been taking pictures everywhere there. They went to John Lennon's house and they went to the Cavern Club.
Mhm.
And
Oh, there's nothing like IPO Liverpool. I've been over a couple of times. I mean, David's done, this will be his 21st year, but 110 bands between Cavern Club and Cavern Pub on Matthew Street. Doesn't get any better than that for 8
From
or
all over the world.
So much fun.
yeah, they usually do that in August, I thought.
So it's May.
In LA, we do it in August,
Okay.
but we go. We take it all over the U.S., Canada, and Liverpool and Stockholm. So
yeah, late May in Liverpool. Then he goes on to Stockholm, and
Right
Also-
on,
also
right
good.
on.
yeah.
now I imagine. I mean, both of you over the course of your careers must have gone all over the world. I imagine to play. What's your favorite place?
What is our favorite place?
Well, you probably have different places that you love, but what was your favorite place? What was your favorite country? Your favorite city? Your favorite place to play in overseas? Let's say.
Okay, because we do love, obviously, our own country is quite lovely.
I liked
Yes, it is.
Albert Hall. That was fun.
Say it again.
Royal Albert Hall.
with the-
Oh yeah,
I played there
Yeah.
several times. That was fun.
I've seen you there. It's fantastic.
that's an honor.
I have. I enjoyed playing at Slane Castle in 1986.
And Shepherd's Bush was fun. We played there
Oh
too.
yeah, we played.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
I love Shepherd's
Yeah,
Bush.
that's
Yeah.
a great venue.
Now the two of you have been the two of you for how long now?
Well, I've been myself since like
For a
69
while.
years. And
I've been
Vicki, how long
myself.
have you
Yeah.
been?
Not quite that long, but
Oh, you didn't change halfway through. Okay. So,
Well, things change on us, but it's not our doing. It just kind of happens.
not by.
well,
not-
because there's a whole tie-in. Your sister Susan, of course, Continental Drifters, and you and Susan with the Dwight Twilley band, and,
Wow.
and
Oh.
everything kind of ties
Like
around.
the sisters.
I'm assuming that Susan had a hand in the two of you meeting, or is that
Nope.
too big of an assumption? No.
Did not. She
Vicki
did not at all.
Vicki did it all by herself.
Wow. Okay.
All right, well, we got to hear
all
about this.
by herself.
I made that happen. I made sure that I met the Cowsills. Oh, and by the way, it is Susan Cowsill's birthday today.
Yes.
So
It
Oh,
is.
that's great. Happy birthday,
Hey,
Susan.
Susan.
We had Bob, Paul, and Susan on our show a couple of years ago.
Of course.
Okay.
That's great.
Yep. Finished Bob just
Yeah,
a little
we just saw
while right
Bob.
before this one.
We just saw about. No.
Well, nice. Yeah. So Susan had played no hand. You were just
No,
going
she
out.
She and I we met in 1978 when I met all the Cowsills. It was that long ago, but she and I became fast friends about 10 years later and were sort of inseparable at that point. And she did warn me, she did say the words to me, "If you ever date my brother, I'll kill you."
Mm.
So yeah, she did not, she was not a big fan of the initial connection. But we've proven her wrong. Right?
Oh,
Oh,
On me. You do that all the time. Now she's punching me. We have several relationships. We're brother and sister,
Stop it.
lovers, friends, and like, don't bug me.
Stop, you bug me.
older, younger siblings, that type of thing. Yeah, very
Yeah.
good.
no, I mean, so Vicki, I mean, you're around my age, and so I assume back in the late '60s you were listening to the Cowsills, reading Tiger Beat in '16.
Oh yes.
At that point, did you have a crush on John? Say one day I really want to meet this guy.
Oh yes.
Oh wow!
I'm unabashedly admitting to this. Yes, absolutely.
Oh wow!
I had a huge crush on him, and was determined to. But I never got to see them play in the olden days. So when the opportunity came up and they were playing a local club where my band, my sister Debbie and I and our best friend Amanda had a band, and we had just played that club, and I saw the listing outside the club that the Cowsills were coming, and I was like, we are going to go see them. I'm going to see them, and I'm going to meet them. I'm going to speak words to this man's face, and he's going to speak them back to me, even if they're like, "Get out of my face, lady, you're bugging me." But it wasn't. He was very nice. And so yes, I was a big Cowsills fan. I took a lot of flack for it too, actually, as a
Really, girls got that kind of flack too.
Say, all right, so we're in the same club. Yes, and that's mostly because I, like you, sort of didn't. I was a Cowsills fan, but I didn't really start digging in deep and obsessing until past the Cowsills moment in time. So it was the early 70s, and none of my peers were thinking this was cool at all. So I was.
Wow. Okay, well, I get that. Well, the similar thing happened to me when I started college. That's when I got my turntable. I was
there you go.
I had found Monkees albums for the first time in my life, and I bought them. And I was listening to Tapioca Tundra by the Monkees, and some guy walks down the hall. My door's open, in my dorm. He hears me. He comes in. He goes, "This is really good. Who is it?" And I said, "The Monkees." And he said, "It sucks," and walked out.
Oh,
of course.
So it was, again, like you with the Cowsills, it was past their time, and of course they had the big resurgence, and now a lot of people think they're cool now.
So we knew the Cowsills were cool before they were cool. So there.
Yeah.
When did we have a big resurgence?
I'm gonna say in the 90s, because that's like when all of our friends and Red Cross and Bill Martell, everyone was really acknowledging the coolness of the Cowsills.
Yeah, even the Smithereens, because
thank you.
We were doing a show with Red Cross and Screaming Trees that Vicki got us this gig somehow, and we just felt so cool to be opening for them because we're the Cowsills, And so, and that night after we played, Dennis Dyken and Jim Babjack were there, and that note came back, said, "Hey, the Smithereens are in the alley. They want to talk to you."
I love that.
And,
in the alley.
yeah. And so Susan and I, and maybe Bob or Paul, I just remember Susan and I being out there, and there they were in all their black New York clothes and black coats, New Jersey, their New Jersey thing, and they asked if would we sing on their Blow Up album.
Wow.
So they knew,
and that just was icing on the cake of cool, and we just felt about that. It's really wonderful to be acknowledged as cool for a second. Because growing up we didn't feel cool because we weren't. I mean, it came off that way. We were this cute little family bubblegum thing, which we weren't, but that's how we were perceived, and it was not fun.
And were the emotions of that time with you and the brothers that kind of an emotion? Like, we're not this kind of sucks because that we're taken like that, but we're not really like that because and nothing. Your mom had a lovely voice, and rest in peace. But had Bill stayed with the band and with Susan and I imagine what you could have been had you been allowed to be what you really wanted to be. Because
maybe it would have been.
The writing obviously is there. The writing is there. The vocals are there. The instrumentation everything's there.
When Bill got thrown out, it was the decline of what we were, and we stayed vaudevillian. We were nothing but a cover band, just like we had always been. Yeah. Our live in concert album was a cover album, and that's what we would do in concert. And so we were wearing tuxedos and dumb clothes and stuff, and we really wanted it to stop. And probably 1972, where it was just down to Bob, Barry, and myself, and I don't even think Susan was there anymore. It was just the three guys, and it was the end of the line for us. And we gathered up enough nerve to tell my dad. We didn't know what was going to happen because he was a hellion, and we told him we want to stop the Cowsills. We don't want to do this anymore. Yeah, that was in Texas, 1972, and the sky didn't cave in on us, so we felt pretty good about that, And my dad kept saying, "Well, all we need is one more song. We'll be back up on top." And it was like he wanted to introduce a song to us called "Ooh Weep." Chirpy, chirpy, cheep, cheep.
Oh, wow.
Hey, we had Middle of the Road on our show.
Well, Middle of the Road had the big UK hit with that song.
You do not want to put that song in front of us at that time. Freaking nutso. We looked at him like, what?
Are you on drugs?
No, God. Wait, what do you get when you did that? Ooh, sure. Oh my
Now
God.
we would not have worked at that
Farther
point.
from what we were doing in our brains.
But middle of the road, that's still to this day the highest selling vinyl 45 of all time.
I get it, but who
Good,
cares?
let them have it.
I know.
When you're late
should have done it.
teenagers, early 20s, you don't want that in front of you. You don't want to be told to do that song. I get it.
We wanted to do the Stones and the Beatles when we started out, and when they put my mom and sister in the band, that was off the plate. Yeah. We were with Johnny Nash's label. We were an R&B band, basically rock R&B band, on our first record label, which was late 1964, early 65, with Johnny Nash.
Joda, right?
Joda Records, yeah.
And Johnny Nash was on that label too, wasn't he?
Well, he owned the label, Joda, John.
Oh, all right.
And Bill Dave, who was the other guy. So, I mean, listen to the first single. I mean, it was cool.
That's where they started.
And
then go back to 2x2 and see what this band as a rock live band can play. And listen to the record.
Man, I love 2x2.
And
that's one of my favorites of yours.
Yeah, the first time the band ever got to play their own instruments on their own record and be in charge of the studio hours.
Yeah,
themselves.
Joda, we played all our instruments, and then we went to Mercury, where Shelby Singleton was, who was a novelty record producer, produced Harper Valley PTA and that kind of stuff. And he saw us and just destroyed us, give us songs like I Love My Siamese Cat, because we were, she's not too good. Come on.
Although, John, I do have to say, What's It Gonna Be Like is a big favorite of mine from that period.
What? Start over.
What's It Gonna Be Like?
Yeah, great song.
That's a big favorite of mine. Bob was doing dinner theater in the early 90s, and I was at the restaurant. I said, Bob, play What's It Gonna Be Like? And he played like the first few notes. And then he said, I forgot the rest of it.
Wow.
Yeah, we were just talking about that today, literally. Yeah. I have all the songs from the Joda records I have all of them that were recorded with Johnny. So.
Oh, nice.
You could probably retire on selling those. They're pretty rare.
We did a lot of blues stuff.
Yeah.
It was great stuff. Anyway.
Well, I mean, for better or for worse, looking back on it, yes, there's got to be some bitterness there for what you wanted, but there's a legacy there also that is unforgettable, and to a lot of people means a lot of things. I mean, you've got your lovely wife there who went out of her way to meet the Cowsills because, and it wasn't, and
it was great for a while, and we probably wouldn't have made it without Mom and the band and the whole thing. And there was some great years of it, but it just was going down the wrong road for us.
Yeah. No, I can only imagine teenage boys what they had to deal with your peers and with critics and the whole thing. Yeah.
I mean, it tortured Barry being a Cowsill. He changed his name. I mean, it just was too hard. He wanted to be taken seriously, and he couldn't get a gig after we were done, like in the early 70s. If you said, "Hey, I'm John Cowsill, and I'm go play," he was like, "Oh yeah, you're from that family." But nobody paid any respect to you because it was just that era right then where everybody's too cool for school. But now, because we're older, and as we got older, people my age who started playing drums, like Greg Bissonette, and Steve Lukather, these guys, they're fans.
Yeah.
And
the really cool thing, John, is that the records you've done in the last, Global, especially, you were on that one, I assume. But
Global was great. Yeah, I mean,
people respected that album. No matter what name you had, people would have respected that album for its quality. Absolutely. And you did it right. I remember in the 70s, so many 60s bands trying to come back, and they tried to recapture that 60s sound with a 70s production, and it never worked. It was terrible. You just went and did, what you really wanted to do, how you wanted to do it, and it worked out great.
Did you ever hear the Cocaine Drain album?
Which one? I'm sorry.
The Cocaine Drain album.
Yeah.
I believe I have, yeah.
That was a serious, great piece of work as well.
A lot of really good songs. Those were the songs that they were playing when I first met them in the late 70s.
Yeah.
And then they made that record over the next few years. It came out later.
Well, it never came out.
Never officially came out.
It's
actually.
still not out.
It's still, yeah. It's still.
But it's gettable.
You can find it on Apple
songs are
Music
great.
or wherever.
Well, which was the album that you submitted to that you had submitted to Atlantic under a different name? And
That was
they
Global.
loved it. That was Global, and they loved it until they heard who it really was.
Yep.
They
did. Yes, they did the same thing to Edgar Winter.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, at least
this is genius stuff. Who is this? Edgar Winter. He's passe.
Wow, even him. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Well, I'm sure, Vicki, that your sister knew of your love for the Cowsills type of thing. How about the rest of the Bangles? I mean, obviously the Bangles sound has got to be influenced by harmonies and jangle pop, so to speak. Yeah.
Sure, Debbie, my poor younger sister and brother were definitely subjected to Cowsillism. Yes, for sure. So Debbie came along with me, and she's smart enough to understand and to
Cowsillism.
Yes, but yeah, we were. But don't forget, we were also of that era, and we were listening to the Beach Boys and the Beatles and the Mamas and Papas and the Byrds and other all vocal harmony bands
and Buffalo Springfield,
the Bee Gees. Family bands for me were just a magnet, and I love that thing that happens when related voices sing together.
Indeed.
Well, one band that you got to hear, which we in New York didn't, was the Merry-Go-Round. I mean, Live, which was a huge hit in L.A., was nothing. I never heard it until I moved out here. Actually.
That's
I didn't know that.
So the other Merry-Go-Round, she's a very lovely woman, and
yeah.
Wow.
Nothing on the East Coast, yeah.
And obviously, I mean, when I first heard All Over the Place, my first thought was, wow, this band must love the Merry-Go-Round. Well, then I saw the cover, of course, of Live. Even before I got to it, it was like, okay, yeah.
Good. We actually talked to Emmett Rose. We found him. We pre-internet found out where this guy lived. Went to his mother's house where he was living working in the back room, like the garage property, and talked to him. Tried to get him to produce our first EP. Because we were going to make a record, and we said, he's the guy, he's going to do it. And so we went and talked to him and met him, and he was not in the headspace that we were looking for. He was not a happy guy at that moment. He was quite unhappy with the state of music, and he wasn't going to take this band of very young women and understand what we were trying to do with songs that were very much influenced by things that he loved. So it wasn't until many years later when we met him again, and Debbie and I sang on some of his recordings right before he passed, actually. But yeah, Emmett was, big love for Emmett.
Sure.
I mean, Cowsills were huge Emmett Road fans. When he came out with Fresh as a Daisy, we thought that was McCartney.
Yeah, who didn't? Everyone
For sure.
That whole album was insane. What, 1969 or 1970 or something?
70, yeah.
Man.
And I didn't hear that until
and then we learned he had automated his acoustic piano to start and stop the tape machines. He did all the instruments himself. That was a self-made album by himself.
Yeah.
Man.
I was lucky enough to see his studio, as you mentioned, right across from his mom's house. Yeah.
Yes.
We recorded with him in the 70s.
Wow.
Because we needed his studio, and our producer Chuck Plotkin knew Emmett, and he said we need to finish something over there, and so we went over there, and he was really gracious, and of course opened the door for Chuck.
I met Chuck in the mid '80s, and I said, Chuck, did you speed up Springsteen's voice on Hungry Heart? And he goes, I did. Wow, you're one of the few people who ever told me that, which I knew was BS, but it made a little boy feel good anyway.
Yeah. Chuck is great to work with, man.
Chuck's a good guy.
He made me a better drummer, and he got me. He's the one who got me on Tommy Two Tones and Bette Midler and the Bob Dylan sessions that he did. That was really fun stuff.
Yeah, you were vocally on 86753. I did not know that.
I was and sang on that. I sang on No Frills album. I don't think I got a credit for that. And I played timpanis on Bob Dylan's Shot of Love album, and I didn't get credit for that either.
Oh my God!
Wow. Wow.
That's awesome.
Vicki, I mean, John obviously was in a band full of siblings, and he had family around. I mean, what are the positives about being on the national stage like you were, with a sister in the group, a sibling that you could be very close to? Did it make it? Do you think it made it easier
Yeah.
to go through the craziness of what was the Bangles?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, because when you have a sibling, chances are, and there's, I guess, historical siblings that probably did not work this way. But for Debbie and I think we felt like there was always a team member who you could count on. It was pretty much somebody that you knew had your back. And that was true with us. I think she didn't always love being my little sister. I think there were many, many times where she goes, "I'm just Vicki's little sister." But, and so there's always going to be that sibling stuff. But we came out of it, and to this day, I sing her praises. She's one of the most talented, musicians I know. She's just naturally gifted.
Yeah, we'll be opening for her.
Yeah, and we're opening
Oh, wow.
at the end of the month.
Really?
She's right now a member of the revolving door that is the -5.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
Scott McCoy. And yeah, she's playing keyboards with them, which is fun. And John and I are opening up 5 of their shows. So we're going to be hanging. And of course, we'll be grabbing her and making her sing with us too. I'm sure. But
Well, of course, yeah. And she came out from behind the drums quite often and sang, out front. Do you think she preferred to be out of the drum situation?
You'd have to ask her, but I think so. I mean, like I said, she was a natural drummer. We sat her down at a drum kit.
Yeah.
Just like John, she basically could play it within the first 34 seconds. But
She likes being in
but
the
she
front.
definitely likes being in the front. I think she's a natural performer.
Absolutely.
She loves being on stage. And so yeah, the moments when we bring her down front for going down to Liverpool, and then also she in later years with the Bangles, we always did Walk Like an Egyptian and Eternal Flame with her down front, and it made the most sense that way for her, for sure.
The Bangles went through you went through quite a roller coaster. I mean, the first album, after hearing the EP, the first album sounded like we expected you to sound. And then, the next 2 albums, you had producers coming in and songwriters coming in, and just glossy production and everything. And we would read stuff, and it wasn't really clear whether you approved of all of it but had no choice because the label owned you, or you just or you really loved it. What did you feel then about those last 2 albums on Columbia, and how do you feel about them now?
Well, there were producers all along, let me just say that. And yet we did work with them all differently. Craig Leon ended up being our producer for the EP. He was a joy to work with. He absolutely just let us do our thing, and he was fun, and he injected, a lot of energy into the proceedings. David Kahn worked on a very different level. He's a very cerebral human, very, very hyper intelligent, and yet his approach to recording was almost like take it apart and put it back together. And it's funny, even all over the place at the time when we made that record, I remember thinking it's too slick, it's just got
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Oh my God, I thought it was overproduced, even though I fought tooth and nail to make sure that there were no artificial keyboard sounds on that record, and there are not. Anytime you hear strings, it's an actual string player. It took a lot to get there, but I really fought that fight. And on the second record, I found out that really I was alone in that fight, that my other bandmates didn't really feel that same way, that it had to be that organic. And therefore, I sort of lost that battle. And the other songwriters, it was just, for me, I wanted the band to be the voice and the band to have the point of view, and therefore the songs be generated from band members. The label had a ticking clock and said, well, we need you in the studio in 3 weeks. What you got? And we had just gotten off the road. That wasn't quite enough time to pull together all the songs that we needed, or the songs that were good enough, really, ultimately. So therefore, yes, the label got to have a say in what we ended up recording. And again, it wouldn't have happened if band members, it wasn't that we were owned by the label, but band members were definitely agreeing with some of these decisions. And so unless you're a unified, force, it's not going to go the band's way. It's going to go however, whoever can get the most momentum going. So
Sure.
yeah, right now I listen to them. Except for some of the really egregious 80s production choices that not necessarily age well. Most of the songs I think are solid. They're really good. And yeah, I listen to All Over the Place now and think that was not overproduced. that does.
Not at all.
But yeah, we went.
No, I didn't think that way until Different Light.
Yeah, and even Different Light. I mean, we went into track Different Light, and we tracked that album live. That's how we made these records. We went in, the four of us got into the studio and played these songs live, and then and we would come away going, wow, it kind of sounds like the Rolling Stones. That sounds pretty good. No, well, even with Different Light.
Oh, okay.
But especially with everything with Davitt, we would go in and we would say that sounds really good. But then, per 80s norms, you would go in and replace every single sound you just created. Like the kick drum is now triggered by a machine.
Yeah.
You hit it, but it's going to be a machine sound. The bass is going to be replaced. Every single note is going to be replaced. So it was just, it was the most non-organic rock way to make a record imaginable.
Well, Vicki, just a simple question. Favorite Bangles track?
Track?
Yeah.
Either Hero Takes a Fall.
Yeah.
Hero Takes a Fall? Yeah. Good track. John, favorite Bangles track?
Ooh.
Man.
Better watch it.
No.
That's why the tension here was. You could tell it was
because I just love that album so much, and I love the older stuff as well. But Tear Off Your Own Head, that kicks.
Oh, see, I love Doll Revolution. That's probably my favorite album.
That was fun record.
But I have some friends who think Sweethearts of the Sun is your best album. So
great album too.
And that was very organic, actually, in a lot of ways. We made that all Stu's house and my house.
But I love something that you said. I can't believe it wasn't a hit.
It was in Germany.
Mixed Messages was great. And the one, If I Told You I Don't.
Tell Me No Lies. Yeah.
Oh, Tell Me No Lies. Love that. Oh, just a great recording. The whole album was recorded so well, and you all played your butts off on it. Really was a great album.
Well, you both got that question correct. Yeah, I just want you to know you got it right.
Yeah, that's what we'd written down prior to the question. So yes.
Oh, seriously?
And Vicki, let's turn the table a little bit. Favorite Cowsills track? What would be the one you want to put on first right now?
Oh, Hair.
Hair.
I know that sound. It was a #1 hit, so that's that. But it was such a great record. It's so impressive that they went in there under strange circumstances because they weren't even trying to make a record. They were just trying to cut a track for a TV show and ended up making a pop classic. The best version of a song from that musical, in my opinion, and one of the best bass parts ever put down on,
Okay.
Even sorry, Sir Paul, but I really think it's a great bass part, So that's definitely one that's up there for me. There's other ones though.
There's some great ones. Yeah.
And John, besides Love American Style, what would be your favorite Cowsills?
It must be the track about milk. I think that's it, right?
Oh man, favorite Cowsill track? What era?
No.
Yeah, latter day. Yeah.
Yeah. I live in Latter-day because it's what we played on.
Yeah.
Global's got so many great tracks. I mean, Cross That Line's just incredible.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
One of my favorite things to track. The whole album was a gas to track. What I believe, but I got to finish it, so kind of bugs me. But still, it was really a cool song, and I really enjoyed Some Good Years. Now, we didn't cut that at the same time. That was a demo Bob had done, and I came into a studio while he and Cecil Duke had recorded that song, and I overdubbed drums on it, which was just so much fun to play that. It's just such a groove thing. And the other one that was a freaking blast to play was She Said to Me.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
I love them all. I don't know, you probably know this, John, but we do a compilation for our festival every year, and we've done them with Omnivore for the past 4. On the last one, Omnivore always gets 3 tracks to put on our compilations, and one of them is She Said to Me.
Yeah.
Some Good Years. I'm sorry. Some Good Years is the 3rd track on disc 2. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So I was honored to receive that one, really.
And I guess the biggest question of the night is off the brand new Long After the Fire. Vicki, the track that you love on here that blows you away. I mean, my favorite was Come to Me, but maybe we can all agree to that. I don't know.
Well, that is one of my favorite ones. One of my favorite ones to sing. Listen to God.
I love them all.
I know. I'm too close to them right now.
Yeah.
I
know that's a hard question.
Well, I mean, everybody's going to have to go out and either see you guys live and pick up a copy of it, or go to Amazon or whatnot and either download or get the physical copy, because again, this album is just so good, and it doesn't do it justice for people to say it's a country album, because it doesn't lie in that zone. It's so much more. It's so much.
I'll just hang my head in shame then.
No, it's just.
No, you're a convert.
No, come on, it's okay.
No, yeah, no, it's just painted so differently than what people would think of a country album. And as I said, I go back to that. I allude to the Mavericks and the vocals.
That is a good comparison.
The vocals really make it very different, and the vocals are so good on this album. The two of you together blend so well, and when you're each taking the leads on things, it's just really impressive. I just have to say it's an impressive album.
My favorite track is Come to Me, though, for sure.
I have another one here ready to queue up, but go ahead, Vicki. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to just say, I think I really love Is Anybody Here, because it's so atmospheric, and I wasn't even there because John and Paul did it at Sun Records, as John said. But for me, there's so much atmosphere and so much love and soul in that track, and you can just feel it. And I'm impressed. I'm impressed with him.
But
really good.
I'm impressed with you.
You're
I
really
love
good.
your vocal on Come to Me. I love that, and I love Old Timeless too.
Oh, that was going to be another follow-up question: is why finish the album with Old Timeless? What's is there a I mean, obviously a nostalgia.
Because you're going to go to sleep by then. And that will bring you down to calm. The last 2 songs will bring you down to calm.
If you're actually listening to the vinyl, which means you had to get up and turn it over at some point, because most people, of course, are listening on streaming platforms, and they're just skipping around and not really listening in anyway. But it's one of the most soulful tracks, I think, in a lot of ways. I think very, it really exposes his soul and how he was feeling, and how beautiful.
We sang that at our wedding.
No, you sang Hearts Collide.
I mean, Hearts Collide. Yeah.
Old Timeless,
which is another good one.
It's also really good.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, as you mentioned early on, John, you thought long and hard about the track placement, and when I listened to a brand new album by somebody, I listened through the whole thing, and there's a reason artists put songs in the order that they put them, and
it was hard placing Sound on Sound and Downtown, because they are so different from the rest of the thing, but they're just favorite songs of ours, and that's what we wanted to do. So it kind of can throw you off a little bit, but it doesn't throw us off. No. You know what I mean?
We think it works.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Downtown, because that's one of the ones I have queued up. So okay, let's play it.
I love it.
All right, Downtown by Vicki Peterson and John Cowsill from Long After the Fire. Here we go.
dog in the backyard, so you won't be all alone. But I know where I gotta go, and you can stay warm and cozy while the sun sinks. So I'm going downtown, gonna see the lights. I'm going downtown tonight. I'm going, baby, got to see what I see. I'm going downtown, won't you come along with me? Well, the valley's getting to me. I've been working all the time. And you kiss the boss's ass for a raise, that's a mighty high fine. Now I want it all paid back before I die from the work or a heart attack. I'm going downtown, gonna see the lights. I'm going downtown tonight. I'm going, baby, got to see what I see. I'm going downtown, won't you come along with me? Gonna be taking you downtown, oh, tonight. Gonna be taking you downtown all night, yeah. Downtown. Downtown. Going downtown. Going downtown.
So we've been like up to with filming because just.
Hello, we're back.
Hi. Sorry, John had to leave. You guys, we have to take off.
Yep.
Sorry, just realized.
No, we overstayed our welcome. It's not a problem.
We appreciate it.
Where's that turn off button? Hang on.
We really appreciate both of you appearing. And
Hey guys, yes, thank you so much, and
best of luck on all the shows and future tours, and hopefully a future new album whenever that happens.
Yeah, you never
Yeah.
know.
Of course.
Why not?
Just not done with this one yet.
applause. Yeah,
No, of course not.
yeah, and hopefully I could get up to the Stone Turtle House concert in Southampton on the 5th of June. I'd love to say hi and see you live. But best wishes with the album and with life in general. Just keep doing what you're doing because we're fans and we love it. Thank
Great
you.
seeing both of you again.
Southampton Village.
All right. Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being here. Take care.
Bye, you guys.
Absolutely. Well, have a great one. Thank you.
Thank
Good night.
you.
All right, that was a lot of fun.
Oh, that was great. I mean, then
I was hoping to play one of Vicki's tracks, but we didn't get.
we can still.
You know what?
Yeah.
A lot of, I'm sure a lot of the people listening already own this album. Thank you, Mason. And those who don't, hopefully you heard enough to decide, yeah, I need to go out and get this. And you should be able to find at least the CD version at your local record store or on whatever online emporium you use.
Long After the Fire, Vicki Peterson and John Cowsill.
Really is, yeah.
As they said, it's available. It's not available on their site, which is vickyandjohn.com. More information about the album and live tours and things are there, but you have to go to Amazon or what was the record label?
Level 50.
Label 51
Label
Recordings.
51, not level.
I think it's on Label 51 Recordings website, so you'll be able to find it there. And of course, the vinyl album with the green vinyl was on Record Store Day, so I'm sure you can still find that somewhere if you're lucky.
Yeah. I mean, especially out in LA, there, because of who, the artist with strong LA roots, they ordered a lot more of them at our local record stores. And as you mentioned, yeah, I mean, some people don't necessarily know Vicki and John's names alone, but so some people said, who is this? But fortunately, enough record stores did bring it in so that I was able to get one for me and one for you.
Oh yeah, very much so. Great.
But now it's on CD and easy enough to find.
It's such a good record, and even if you're not a fan or don't know that much about the Bangles or the Cowsills, and you're just a fan of good music, it really is solid. The
Very
first
solid.
Just kill me, but yes, that was great, man. It was great get to have them on the show tonight. That was really really nice to talk with them. Of course, that's our fourth Cowsill, so we've been collecting Cowsills on Material Issues because we had.
What? I'm trying to pull up something and my screen is being wonky here, but
Wonky screen.
Yeah, because I need to find an album title. What is going on here with my screen? I'll get it, but in the meantime, we'll talk about what's coming up.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got quite a bit. The next couple of weeks, I will be in Liverpool at the Cavern Club doing International Pop Overthrow. We know we'll be there. We'll be on next Sunday. We don't know exactly what time yet, but I'm thinking it'll probably be something like 10 or 11 o'clock UK time, which would then be, if it's 11, it would be 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. The following week, we still haven't decided. Are we going to move it to Saturday so that we can get certain bands on, namely Twinklehead, the one that Mark informed me about? Hopefully so. If not, then we'll do it Sunday, the final night of IPO, and we'll get some more bands on.
Yeah.
The following weekends, I will be in Stockholm on that particular Sunday. And that one we may actually be able to do at our normal time on Sunday, because I'll be waking up for our trip to Rome at that point. Then the following weekend is the one we're coming home. I'm coming home. Our flight leaves at 2. Our flight gets in at about 2 o'clock, which is why we're going to start an hour later.
Yeah.
Who do we have on? Somebody who I'm really looking forward to meeting.
Yeah, we're going to start that one at 9 p.m. Matter of fact, I just reconfirmed today just to make sure. But we've got a great member of the Grassroots, Mr. Dennis Provisor. And if you're not that familiar with Grassroots, just go out there and listen to Let's Live for Today, I'd Wait a Million Years, Midnight Confessions. I mean, it goes on and on and on, the slew of hits that they had through the early 70s. And just, the Grassroots, Dennis Provisor are going to be, he's a vocalist and keyboard player, and it's going to be great, man. Just another classic band and a member that we're going to have on here. And
I mean,
it's really good. Could be good.
I mean, it depends on what you like, but some people will say the Provisor era is the most fruitful, and others will say God, who did he replace? Was it Rick Koontz? No, Creed Bratton, right?
Well, yeah, Creed, yeah. Of course, he went on to be in The Office, but
he
replaced Creed.
Career later. But for me, the Grassroots were great all the way through. I mean, they are the ultimate singles band.
Yep.
Those of you who love the Cowsills from back in the day certainly remember all these Grassroots hits gracing the charts at the same time, and a little bit later as well. So we had him on July 6th. No.
June 15th.
June 15th.
Yeah.
Then June 23rd and 30th, we don't have any guests at this point.
Right.
I don't think.
No.
June 22nd and 29th, I mean.
22nd and 29th, yep.
Sorry.
They're open right now, but you never know.
Yeah, we'll see. July 6th, we have a member, well, one of the two main men of a great band from the 80s, the DBs, who has a brand new record called Anything Is Possible. And it's an homage to the 60s, and it's really beautiful.
Nice.
I'm talking about Chris Stamey.
Very good.
Chris Stamey actually played IPO when we did it. The 1 year we did it in North Carolina, he had his band play, and Peter Holzapfel actually showed up and played along with. I did not expect that. That was a really pleasant surprise. But it'll be great to see Chris again and to play some tracks from the new album, which I believe is coming out just a little bit. It might be coming out a few days after the 13th. I mean, after the 6th, but right around that time. So we'll get into that. And then on the 13th, we have at least one of members of the great power pop band, the Gripweeds, Kurt Ryle, and hopefully his wife and partner in crime, Kristen Pinnell. And they have a brand new album coming out in just a few days. And we'll be playing tracks from that one as well. And I'm looking forward to receiving my copy of it. And so, yeah, we've got a bunch of really cool stuff coming up. And we'll have more, of course, as the days go by. Mark and I always have irons in the fire.
Yeah. So
you never know who we're going to get.
If you haven't gone over to it, scrolling across the bottom, it's what you're watching on right now, materialissues.com. Either here on the Facebook page, join the Facebook group, which you'll get the notification of what's coming up, or go, subscribe at materialissues.com. It doesn't cost anything. You just hit the subscribe button and it'll pop up and let you know when things are happening or what's happening. So you won't miss the live show, because if you feel like typing in some questions or comments and things, you can always do that live. I mean,
that's right. Yeah. We love hearing comments, and thank you, Tim. And we had a few of them from new people this week, so that's always nice.
Yeah, it's always good. So yeah, so make sure you tell your friends and subscribe. But we've been doing this now for a little while. This is our 204th episode. David and I were talking about that.
Crazy.
Pre-show. It's just like I think back in the beginning, we were hoping to do maybe 10 shows and have a good time.
We really didn't know. We didn't know, when we started this, we didn't know what it was going to become. We were thinking it was just going to be me and Mark speaking about, whatever. And that's what the first few episodes were. And then we thought, why don't we get some guests on? And that then became a fair, that became a bit of a trend, a common theme. And, every so often it would just be me and Mark again, and it will be again, probably possibly in the weeks and last couple of weeks of June. And again, next week we will be at the Cavern Club for our 21st year, Sunday. Again, I'm not sure what time. That's right. I'm not sure what time. I'm thinking it'll either be 3:00 Pacific, 6 Eastern, or 2:00 Pacific, 5 Eastern. I'll look at the schedule. We'll figure it out. But whatever time it is, if you join, you're going to have a lot of fun seeing the Cavern Club, seeing a few bands from all around the world play.
It's always fun because David, they have good connection at the Cavern. He takes his
thankfully now, yeah,
and he roams around the Cavern and backstage, and we talk live with bands that either are just going on or they're just coming off the stage or whatever it may be. It's a lot of fun. If you've never been to Liverpool and the Cavern Club, it gives you a neat behind the scenes live look. It's great.
It would just be so amazing if Vicki and John could somehow do a European tour around it, and on an off date, they'll say, yeah, let's come up to the Cavern and play. Thank you so much, Tim. I am so looking forward to it. As always, it's quite a surreal experience.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Yeah, great show tonight, man. And then we got some great stuff coming up. So we appreciate everybody hanging out with us, and we'll keep this train rolling. Material Issues as long as we can, as long as we're having a good time and archiving all these artists and things, and playing great music. And
indeed, including Long After the Fire by Vicki Peterson and John Cowsill. One
more time with the album cover right there. It is. So pick it up, everybody. It's It's fantastic, and the two of them are so cute together too. I hate to use such
that was not. No, I love the word
you
cute.
know, yeah, but they are. You can tell they are.
One of the things I didn't say to Vicki, but my another friend of mine named Mark and I were big Bangles fans in the 80s. We liked different tracks. We're different kinds of people. He had a huge crush on Vicki, and he likes some cool. Vicki's a cool lady. I mean, she always was, and I liked him cute. So Susanna was my favorite, and I know she was the
not
favorite.
that Vicki isn't cute. Vicki's very cute. I said not that Vicki's not very cute.
No, she's very attractive, but I don't know that I'd use the word cute about her. Because
Susanna had.
She has an edge to her.
Yeah.
So as my other friend Mark would say, she's cool. She was always, as he called her, she was a cool broad.
Yeah, very good.
And Susanna was a cute broad, and cuteness made him sick. I liked coolness, but if I had to choose one, of course it would be Susanna. But we never got either of them. Unlike Vicki, we didn't get our wish to. I mean, I'm very happy now, honey.
I can admit it.
Watches this. Don't think
I can admit it now, but I was a Michael Steele fan.
Wow, there you go. So there was a bangle for everyone.
There was a bangle for everyone. Yeah, indeed.
I will say this: Vicki and Susanna were on Rodney Bingenheimer's show one time, and Michael Steele called in, and she was cracking everybody up, especially the two of them. But I was listening, and I was just she had to be the funniest bangle. Or at least she was on that night.
Well, it's interesting because I read somewhere in my research that Eternal Flame is still the highest selling single by an all girl band in history. Wow. And but I recall the Go-Go's kind of came along first.
They did.
And I went and saw them here at Emerald City and all the places around here in South Jersey, New Jersey, Jersey when they came out with We Got the Beat. And then of course the Bangles came on a little bit later, but it was a time when there were all girl bands making a splash, and to see them live and they could actually play. They weren't just manufactured media darlings type of thing, but it was a cool time, and they
have a great band. I haven't seen Michael lately, so I can't speak to that, but I've seen the other three. I actually saw Debbie in person a few years ago. She was attending the same show I was. And now we just saw Vicki, and I've seen photos of Susanna recently. And they have kept themselves and really, really, they have aged very well.
Yeah, indeed.
And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel really to have two people whose music I respect so much, and not just, including the new album, to have them on the show was a big thrill for me.
No, it was fantastic, man. Fantastic. Great get. Love it.
All right.
That's what you get here at Material Issues. So join us next Sunday live from the Cavern, Liverpool. David Bash, the International Pop Overthrow Festival rolls on in Liverpool. He'll be out there polishing his brick, taking some photos.
Definitely can't wait to take a new photo with a brick, because I'll be so much thinner in this photo than I was in the last one.
It's all good.
That'll be fun.
But everybody, have a great night, David. Love to Rena.
Love to Chesonati.
That's where we're going. We're going for a walk as soon as I hang up.
Yeah.
See everybody next week on Material Issues. Good night.
Take care, everyone. Be good. Stay safe.